A great day, dear students. Next topic in PHP is how to connect the PHP and MySQL. That is the topic of chapter 9. So we are going to study the importance of database connectivity with PHP. So before that, we have to know what is database. So I have planned to taught chapter 3, Introduction to Database Management System. So we are going to see chapter 3, what is database management system. After learning that, we are moved to chapter 9. So first we know about the database concept and the components and its functions by learning chapter 3. So in our chapter topic is Introduction to Database Management System. So from the title itself, we are going to learn what is database and what is database management system. So what is database? So before that, entering into database, we must understand what is data. So what is data? Data is a raw fact. That is any kind of a piece of information is said to be as an data. Say for example, RAM, 12th, A. These are all the data. That is what we have collected. In a data is a plural form. So any piece of a small information is said to be as an datum. It is a singular form of data. So here RAM, 12A. These are all data. Table, 12th standard, computer application, book, bench, desk. All those things are data. And what are the processing we are performed, and we are converting the data into information, into meaningful information. So here what is information? It's a collection of data. So here this is RAM is one datum and 12th is one datum. By these data we can form the information. RAM is studying in 12th standard. So we can got the information now. So with the help of RAM 12A, with the help of data, or where the data gets stored, and those place is called as a database. So the data are stored, and we can, from where we are retrieving or getting the data, and which is a software which is used to manage all the data, is called as a database management system. So in the definition is, what is management system? It is a set of program which is used to manage the data, that is which is allowed to store the data, and which is allowed to get the data from the database, and which is used to extract the particular data by using condition. For example, if you are storing 12th A, all students details, mark details. If I want to fetch the students, those who have got centum in max, so I have to separate those details of the student, those who are getting centum in max, and those particular data has to be retrieved from the entire storage medium. So this process is handled by the management system. And here MySQL, Oracle, and MS Access, those are all the software, managing software which is used to handle the data. So in our title, that is database management system. Database management system. So what is DBMS? It is a software which is used to manage the data, so that we can easily access the data, store the data in the database. And here we are going to see about SQL. What is SQL? Structured Query Language. What is here query? Query is a condition or a request which is used to fetch the particular details from the database. So here, assume the database as a table which is used to store the data. For example, 12th A mark list, everyone know. It is considered as a table now. How many columns are there? Student's ID, serial number, student's ID, exam number, student name, Tamil mark, English mark. Likewise, it is assembled as a table. So from the table, how we can access the centum students? By commands, and those commands are manageable by using the language SQL. So SQL is a structured query language which is used to access the data from the database. Next, in olden days, how the data are get stored? How the data are get stored? it is stored in the format of punched cards. Now how the data are stored in memory card and in some other ways as a files or as a database. So before that it is stored in punched card, and those technologies are used to store the data in olden days. After that the file management systems are introduced. Before that, we are going to see the DBMS definition. So it is a system software for creating and managing the database, and it provides the way to create, retrieve, update and changes. So we can easily change the data in the database, and we can retrieve the particular information from the database. And what is table? So here what I have said, the data are stored in database in the format of tables. So the data are grouped together as tables, which is used to identify the particular data. Say for example, how I can get the ROM details from the table, where the name is equal to ROM, then I can access the ROM details fully. So here all the data which are related each other. So here in our previous example, 12th is one data, RAM is one data. Which how these data are get interrelated? RAM is studying in 12th standard. So these are data which are related to each other. So likewise, the related data are grouped together and they are stored it in the format of tables to identify the data. It's called as a table. So table already had studied in last year, that chapter 8, which is in chapter 7, that last portion we have studied about database. Database is a collection of data, and it is stored in table format, that is collection of rows and columns, and each row, that is horizontal row, is called as a record, and the vertical column is called as a field or attribute. Next one, evolution of DBMS. So how they have, in olden days they have used punched cards to store the data, and next they have introduced the file systems, which are the predecessor of DBMS. Before DBMS they have introduced the file systems, and those data are accessed by different methods. So they have used 3 sequential access method, indexed access method and random access method. 3 method which is used to access the files, particular data by using the file system. So what is sequential access? Sequential. So in order, all the data are stored in order. All the files are stored in order. So there are 100 files which are storing all the details. Now we have to access the 50th file. Now we must pause, or we must wait until the 49th file get uploaded. After that we can easily access the 50th record. So this is also having the drawback. Then they have introduced the indexed access file system. What is the index? Have you heard about the word index? Yes, in book we are having the index page, which is used to represent a particular page in a book. So if you want to move the particular page now, we can easily refer the index and we can easily move to the particular topic. So likewise, for the files, we are maintaining the index. By referring the index, we can easily access the specified file. So index accessed method, which is created to overcome the sequential access. And the next access is random access. What is random? Not sequentially. We can access the particular file by specifying the address. We no need to wait for long more times. We can easily access those files by using the random access. And these file system has more limitations or drawbacks. So here, what are the drawbacks of file system? As I have told already, in sequential file access, what we have to do? We must wait for lot more time. And here first the drawback is data duplication. If we are unable to access, or while 2 members are accessing the same file, now what we have to do? We have to give one copy of that file to another person. If A and B are the 2 persons accessing the same file, now we have to make a copy of the original file and we have to hand over to A and B. So there must be waste of spaces and we must create the duplication of data. and here high maintenance. So accessing the file or data consistency. So here duplication of data, to avoid the duplication of data and to avoid the data consistency and to maintain the consistency of the data and access control. How to access control? We must at a time more members are accessing the same file now. You have to the time must be very fast. So we must allow the user to without any interruption, the user must access those files. So here access control and data consistency need the maintenance cost, a high maintenance cost. And then security, here by using the file system methods, it will give less security to the data. That is what we have stored in file system. So that to avoid these drawbacks, they have introduced a new system called DBMS. So here we are going to see about DBMS concept. So here the DBMS concept, which is based on the database management system. Nowadays it is transferred as relational database management system and object database management system. All DBMS which are based on two basic concepts, that is which are following. Others means follows. So the DBMS follows two basic concepts, that is ACID property and concurrency control and locking. So what is ACID property? ACID property, what is the expansion? A for atomicity, C for consistency, I for isolation, and D for durability. So we want to see it briefly. First it is atomicity. So what is atomicity? It follows the thumb rule, all or nothing. If I am sending one data in WhatsApp itself, we assume that you are sending one message from one person to you are sending to your friend. While it reaches to your friend mobile, it will enter as double tick. Either it will send to the server when your friend is in offline. The data will move to server. So it will enter as a single tick. So that is what, while transferring the data from the database or getting the data from the database, and this action is called as transaction. So here I have specified transaction. What is transaction? Updating the data in the database. So ஒரு databaseல போய் ஒரு தகவலை வைக்கிறோம் இல்ல பெறுறோம் அப்படினா அந்த செயலுக்கு பேரு transaction, and this transaction is happening fully. Whether the message is sent to the receiver correctly, delivered to the receiver correctly at the receiver end, abdina it is success. If the message is struck or it is interrupted by someone else and the message is not properly sent to the receiver, so there must be an error occurred. In this situation, those state is considered as a failure. So here only two state. ஒன்னு மெசேஜ் ஃபுல்லா போய் சேர்ந்து சக்சஸ்னு வரணும், இல்ல மெசேஜ் பாதியிலே தடங்கல் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா ஃபெயிலியர்னு வரணும். So that is what it follows. Thumb rule, all or nothing. Next topic, next we are going to see about consistency. So here, what is consistency? Only the valid data saved. So unwanted data which are harmful to affect the data, the transaction which are harmful to affect the data. So many persons are accessing the same user account. For example, a person is giving amount to lot more people. So more people are accessing one particular account at a time na. So there must be a corruption may be occurred. So no transaction should have any harmful effect on the data. So the data must not be corrupted by any other transactions na. So it must be consistency, நிலைப்புத்தன்மை. So whatever the transaction must be, the data should be very correct. Suppose if anyone is transferring the data and they are truncating the data, ஒரு டேட்டா 500 rupees சென்ட் பண்றாங்க, பாதியில அவங்க நெட் ஏதோ கனெக்ட் ஆகல, ஸ்டாப் ஆயிருச்சு. அப்ப அந்த டிரான்சாக்ஷன் என்ன ஆகணும்? நடக்க கூடாது. அதே மாதிரி பேலன்ஸ் எப்படி இருக்கணும்? பழைய நிலைமைக்கு திரும்ப போய் அந்த டேட்டா மாற்றம் இல்லாம பழைய டேட்டாலே இருக்கணும். இப்ப அவங்க அக்கௌண்ட்ல 5000 ரூபாய் இருக்கு, 500 ரூபாய் வித்ட்ரா பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அந்த பண்ணும் போதே பாதி கரண்ட் போயிடுச்சு, ஏதோ ஒரு ப்ராசஸ்னால அந்த செயல் தடைப்பட்டுருச்சு. அப்போ 500 ரூபாய் அவங்க எடுக்கல. அப்போ திரும்ப அக்கௌண்ட்ல பழையபடி அந்த டிரான்சாக்ஷன் நடக்கலன்றப்ப அந்த பழைய நிலைமைக்கு அது திரும்ப போறதுக்கு பேர் தான் கன்சிஸ்டன்சி. And then here isolation. What is isolation? So every transaction do not affect any other transaction. It is also known as the degree of consistency. Suppose user A accessing 100 rupees from one account, from Z's account. From C's account, user A is accessing 100 rupees and user B access 250 rupees from Z's account at a time. Balance is 1000 rupees. In Z's account, the balance is 1000 rupees. Both A and B are accessing 100 and 250 rupees at a time. So, the transaction must not happen on concurrent. It must, at least one of the person has to wait until the other transaction is completed. Suppose, if first A transaction happens, 100 rupees has to withdraw and the balance is transferred to 900 rupees, and then after that B's action has to be followed. So that is what say as isolation. Every transaction must be isolated from other transaction. ஒரு செயல் இன்னொரு செயலுக்கும் எந்த சம்பந்தமும் இல்லாம ஒவ்வொரு செயலும் தனித்தனியாக நடைபெற வேண்டும். அதுதான் வந்து isolation. Next, durability. So during the concurrency, at a time everyone is fetching the data. So after, is there any failures? It must recover all the committed transaction during the failure. That is said to be as a durability. Okay, next topic we are going to see is next second feature of DBMS. That is what we had seen. We had first seen about acid property. Acid property means atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. Next one is concurrency control. What is concurrency? At a time. Concurrency means at a time. So multi-users are accessing, for example, during the exam results time, all the one in the state is accessing the same website. So likewise, they are accessing the same database at a time. How to give the permissions and how to lock one person transactions from other. So that is what handled, and the DBMS is following these two basic concepts. So here concurrency control means procedure for managing simultaneous operation. So at a time la நடக்கக்கூடிய operations manage பண்றதுக்கான procedures அதான் என்ன சொல்றாங்க, concurrency control. Next topic is locking. So what is locking? The mechanism used as a means of concurrency control. Multiple transactions may request a lock on the data item simultaneously. So if any user can ask to lock my transaction, they are able to do with this. So that the feature or that is the feature which are used to allow the applications to change the data items or lock the data items, and those features is called as locking. So DBMS follows two concepts. One is atomicity, so acid property, and another one is concurrency control and locking.